All right, well, new video for a new project. This is something I've been wanting to build for a while, or at least play around with. This is the drivetrain from a 2013 Nissan Leaf. I actually bought a car, stripped it down. I'm going to do a whole other video on that. But we got down to the drivetrain, as you see here, and I posted a picture to a Facebook group, Scratch and Kit Built Cars, and got tons and tons of questions and a lot more response than I thought I would for just posting one picture. Thanks to them for a lot of good comments and feedback. So I thought I told them I'd shoot a bit of video because I can do a better job talking than I can typing. Anyway, this is the drivetrain from 2013 Nissan Leaf, and the full drivetrain. This is the inverter here, the gearbox, and then the electric motor is actually tucked way down there. It's kind of hard to see. I'm not going to do a full deep dive on this. I'll post some links. There are other people that have done much better deep dives. Their videos been out there for a while. But to talk a bit about why I picked this and what I'm going to do with it. So first of all, like I said, this is an inverter. The box that you have down there, that's actually the charger and DC-DC converter, and some other things, all pre-charged circuit, all in one unit, and that comes up to about here. My plan is I'm actually going to not just do one of these, but two of these. One's going to be powering the front, and one will be powering the rear. I don't have any more developed plan than that. If you guys watch these videos, you know I've been building EVs for about 10 years, and batteries and motors are lying everywhere. So I'm really comfortable with that part, but I've always done conversions. The S10 land speed racing truck, the E30, the Miata, the Bug, the airplane. Those have been starting with an existing frame, chassis, and building from there. I've been wanting to do a scratch build car, which is my own design for quite a while, and this seemed like a good opportunity for that. So a couple thoughts on it are, again, the motor is actually quite small. It's a single speed gearbox. Top speed on this from the factory, I think, is 93 miles an hour. I'm probably going to use the open inverter so I can get more power and potentially some more RPM out of it. I'm going to go to bigger tires as well. They are a 25-inch tire. I think it's 25-inch. They're pretty small in diameter. Keep in mind the Nissan Leaf at its heart was an economy car. They put all the money into the motor, inverter, I guess to the battery. Nissan Leaf batteries, don't get me started on those. But anyway, so there's a lot of other stuff that they left to be desired. Some of the good things though about it, front discs here are actually twin pot, double twin piston calipers. Look pretty good size. They're fairly small disc. I wager you could maybe fit a 15-inch rim on this. So I think they had to go to the bit bigger on the caliper to make up for the smaller disc size to get the same braking. Remember, this was a 3,600-pound car, and so front brakes are the ones that do all the work. So my plan is I'm going to take two of these drivetrains, one in the front, one in the rear, make all-wheel drive. For orientation, this is actually the back of the motor. Up front here is where you have the radiator and AC compressor, which you see over there. My plan is I'm going to try to reuse many of the stock components as possible. Just trying to keep costs down. I don't make any money off of doing these YouTube videos. This is just my form of masochism, or sadism. I can't remember which. Anyway, and so. Trying to keep budget down. So I'm going to try and keep as much of the drivetrain. I was originally going to reuse all the suspension for both the front and the rear installation. A couple issues I ran into that. Again, this is a cost optimized car, not a performance optimized. So you got the stamped steel lower arms, and they're just plain bushings there. And it certainly isn't the greatest. It's a strut, McPherson strut, which is no surprise, but as you can see, I was surprised how tall these are. So a little bit taller than that. So one of the things I'm going to do to take a step back, this car is going to be completely naked. It's just going to be a tube chassis. I want it to be an open car. as little between me and the driving as possible. And so I'm also going to try to get the car as low as possible, get that CG down. Try to keep it somewhat lightweight within reason. I'm not going to be trying to save shade ounces. So anyway, the Nissan Leaf had the big hood up here, and you had the structure to attach it. So this is actually a little bit higher, where it goes right about here. So I have to build structure to come up to this point, and obviously it'll compress, so it'll be down here, which wouldn't be terrible. The bigger limitation I run into with the struts is the tires. So the tire comes out right here. I could run a fair bit of offset, kick this out so I could miss that strut, and I might be doing that anyway just to get some more track width. These are fairly low offset, maybe get a little bit more steering feel. But so I'm looking at how I'm going to potentially get rid of the front strut setup, potentially do it at the rear. I figured out in the front, it's fairly straightforward. I'll do it on the rear as well. Couple things are, original plan is, seen this done on other cars, is pick up on the strut mounting points here, put a bracket, make an A-arm. I'll have a down tube that comes from the, well, it'll be the other way, down tube that comes from the passenger compartment on the roll cage up to the front. I'm going to try and reuse this existing space frame if I can. I'll start with that. I may just end up replacing all that as I go through as I don't like it. But so yeah, and one of the key things is the lower arm isn't designed to take any of those suspension loads. So I've actually thought about doing a rocker arm and actually kicking the strut sideways and trying to work that out. I don't know. It's a lot of things I'm gonna play with. This build's gonna be a lot different from my own. If you guys watch the previous videos, I generally try to research things, have a pretty good plan of what I'm gonna do, and then when that doesn't work out, I get out the big hammer and start banging away body panels. But in this case, I'm just I've got a rough, vague idea: 2-seat, naked chassis, something that's gonna be street legal because I want to be able to drive in the streets. And I find that really helpful for just testing, and it's fun to be able to throw the kid in the passenger race seat and go down to Dairy Queen or something like that. So and just keep something that's going to keep it as simple as possible. Like I said, all these builds, the simpler you can make the construction, the more likely you are to actually succeed in building something, as opposed to running out of energy, time, or money, or all of the above before you get done. So I've got this one. Again, I'll post a video on how I took the trials and tribulations of buying a Rex 2013 Leaf, and I'll post that up here shortly. But I'm going to keep a lookout for the other one, and I want to try and do as little of this in CAD. Again, I just kind of freeform build it. You saw the video of the electric skateboard. I just started using whatever parts I had around and made a board out of that, and I really like that. I spend 10-12 hours a day doing CAD, running CATIA, SolidWorks, etc. And while I'm good at it and I like doing it, after 10 or 12 hours, I like to get away from it. So that's why I come out here and start hitting on things with a hammer and building something there. So as far as Nissan drivetrain, why I went with this as opposed to a Tesla drivetrain, it's cost. I could get a drivetrain and a controller for off of a Tesla for like $5 or $6 grand, $7 grand, somewhere around there, depending on who you get them from. Here, I probably have I should have about $1,000, $1,500 into everything you see here. There's still the car with a bunch of other parts that I can salvage off of it. So that's a big thing. So if you have two of them, you're looking at 10-15 grand in Tesla drivetrain before you even add batteries. Could get a wrecked Model 3. That would actually be what I was hoping to do, but no one's really cracked the Model 3 motor yet. I think that's, if not solved now, pretty close to being ready for prime time. But for right now, I can buy this for cheap and just have some fun with it. So, anyway, stay tuned.